of myself and the delegation, and actually indeed in behalf of our government in Palestine. Since you are coming for a seminar in Palestine, I have the honor really to welcome you all and thank you sincerely for accepting the invitation. Of course, this thing could not have been done without really the very, very excellent support that we receive from the host country, Indonesia, where we are all happy to live and enjoy and work. And also, I should mention, with proud, without the help, the instrumental help that we've been enjoying for many years now with our friends from Japan. And that's mainly Jakarta, which is doing that mandate with so much passion. They've been doing this with us for a quite long time in every sector, whether it's tourism, whether it is agriculture, whether it's good governance. We have so many projects that we are running, the three countries together. And that's the kind of multilateral really relation which is quite productive that we've been all the time talking about. We are really practicing that, not with too much voice also indeed. So it's not really too much reported, and we are not interested really of making the media busy on those kind of engagement. But let me tell you, as a Palestinian, we are going through what we are going through. When you know that two governments like Japan and Indonesia beside you, I think you should be very happy and very proud. And that's what I am really today. You see, these two commandments, which are coming from two major Asian countries, is unique in a way. I mean, you don't find so many multilateral, which is in practice good. But this so-called trilateral marriage, if you like, although it's all the time bilateral marriage, we make it trilateral, and it's working fine, actually, from the experience that we have, is really about production. It's about bringing children. It's not about love story, which everybody talks, blah, 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 and later on it will appear to be Bohong and Gombal. No Gombal, no Bohong here. We are doing something serious here, And to make it sure, we did not leave it only to three countries. Last year and the years before, we had upgraded it into more open for everybody, so nobody should be jealous at all. We brought everybody in a conference which has met first in Tokyo, and we call it CIAPAC, Conference for Peace, Aid, Development for Palestine. That is the framework which enables everybody to come on board. So we are not alone in this now. We are even having more partners like Thailand, like Malaysia, like Singapore, and other countries are joining actually the concept of development of Palestine. Since everybody agrees that Palestine should be independent, now we are busy constructing the institution and the foundation of such independent state. So while the politicians are busy talking and they never stop talking about negotiation, we are busy also doing on ground what the Palestinian state needs to be done. Now, this is quite complicated actually, because this is unique. Most of the time you build independence when you have got really the peace and settlement over there. But building state while you are under occupation, this is really something that not happen anywhere. And now it's happening in Palestine. And this is a contradiction sometimes. When people would like to travel to Palestine, but it's still under occupation. Means that you have got, there is military, so there is clash. All the time the news are reporting clashes going on there. So how come now you come and talk about tourism? This is so much a little bit confusing for those who are not familiar with the situation on ground. And this is the beauty of the work, that we are not going to wait. We need to give our people the hope that the world wants the Palestinian state, and the whole world is committed to build this state. That will give us hope actually to overcome the very many difficulties that we are facing every day. I cannot tell you that the situation in Palestine is ideal. That would be not really a correct statement, because things are abnormal, actually. This is not a good marriage. We are living together in the same bedroom, we are not divorced, and we are not properly married. That's the situation between us and our cousins. We call them our cousins, actually, in reality. I don't know if it is really real or not, but this is how we behave. But those, cousins are all the time really not able to work together. Sometimes they are really, teasing each other, pissing off each other every day, in different ways. Sometimes it's even violent. That's not good, yeah? But this is how it is. Are we going to wait for so many years till we build this state? No. We have to do it really at the same time. Simultaneously, we are engaging in a big project of really building this thing. And you know what? You will love it, because we have done so far in that business. If you go and check the data and see what we are doing in reality on the ground, let us say, for example, education. Not a single child is dropped. The intake is 100% in Palestine. Free education from grade 1 till you graduate from school and you go to university. That's how many countries even did not achieve yet. Utilities, let us say water, road, electricity. No Palestinian doesn't have all these things. Even internet, we don't have G4 yet, but I can tell you it's very good and it's speedy and it's nice. When you talk about the health sector, we have the most advanced health scheme, but not the Palestinian one is excluded from healthcare scheme that is insured. Not even one. And the coverage sometimes is 100%, especially for government officials and so on. Even there is a good stock exchange, which is all the time actually in the green area, never it went into the red area. So even financially speaking, we are quite sound, and everybody's planning his life as if he is going to live forever. People go into housing projects, schemes, buying cars, everything, and so on. So how come that the Palestinians with all these kinds of things still they are complaining? We are complaining for lack of freedom. We are not free to go. We are not free to travel. We are not free even to invite the foreign minister of Indonesia, and somebody could abort that project because simply he doesn't want to see us doing very well between Indonesia and Palestine. He's unhappy seeing all this love that Palestinians have. And you know what? This kind of love and affinity with Palestine that so many Indonesians are showing, and Japanese and others, not for any particular reason that we look very smart. Look at me. Do I look like smart? No way. Even maybe my wife would say something like that, and even my mother, but not everybody else. They can't, because simply the Palestinian story is the story of Indonesia in a way. Indonesia has struggled 350 years to get what we call now Merdeka. Look at all Asian countries, look at all African countries. Most of the countries in the world have passed through what we are passing. We are the last example of colonialism not yet over. We are the last people on earth who are still struggling to get their basic right to be free and independent. That's why everybody is supporting us. Not that they like us, not that they are, biased us because of what we are. Because some people would like to say that Palestinians are Muslims and we are in solidarity with our brothers in Palestine. That's not really true. This is not the reason. I mean, we are true, we have a majority of our population are Palestinian, but that's not the reason. Because in Ireland, I know that there aren't so much Muslims, but the Irish Parliament, with consensus, would decide anything in favor of Palestine. The other day, even some MP was embarrassing the ambassador of Israel, telling him that we should kick you out from our country because your government is doing 1, 2, 3. I will send you a YouTube if you're interested about the whole thing. But it was humiliating. Not humiliating because people hate the Jews also in a way. No. People are so much angry with Israel. Israeli government, which is not able to respect anything about international law or international humanitarian law, not able to listen to United Nations, although they are members of United Nations. So here it's about politics. It's not about whether we are Muslims or Jews or Christians. The fact of the matter, that later on you will find out from the presentations, we are in Palestine having the graves and the spots of more than 25 prophets. So as if God is sending everybody here. He never thought even to send one even to Jakarta or to Java altogether. So you know what? Because you are nice people. We seem to be very troublemakers and we need a lot of messengers. And for you, I mean, you just directly endorse the concept of God and belief. Not really with that extreme way of reversion of the religion in a way. And that's what happened also in Palestine. We've been living together all along, as I can remember in our histories, for the last 1,500 years. You go to Jerusalem in 1856, you will find 9,000 in Jerusalem are Muslims, beside another 3 who are Christians and another 3 who are Jews. Well before any Israeli state even had been thought. But that is a project which has appeared to be in Europe, not in Palestine, not in Morocco, not in Yemen, where Jews, they've been living all along in our area. They are part and from our fabric, historically speaking. Judaism did not start somewhere in Europe. It had started within the Middle East. That's the issue. The issue is that we need to bring harmony and peace among all believers. And if that could happen, you cannot imagine how much could be the situation in the region and beyond. This is why countries like Indonesia, Japan, and the rest, they are strong believers that there is possibility to build peace. But to build peace, we need people who believe in peace. What we are doing here is trying to help the Palestinians believe that peace is possible, and the whole world would like to support them to continue living. Now here there are 2 dynamics I should tell you about. I have the duty to tell you about. What is the working plan as far concerns our cousins, the Israelis? And what is our working plan on the other side? So that you know what's the dynamics which is going on there, in which environment that we are talking about. The Israelis think that the time is working for them. So what they are doing, they are making our life impossible. So that we will be forced to leave out. And no more attachment to the land. Because the whole issue is about the land. Who owns the land? For whom this land is? This is the big question. From our side, we have no alternative but to live in the land. We suffered in the past, we sit back on this concept because they succeeded to expel us. In the 1948, up to 80% of our population had been expelled. Not during the war, well before the war. And we can bring you the documents of Israel which shows that that was a master plan doing ethnic cleansing to the Palestinians right away. 1947, 1945. And historians of Israel now are making books about it and documented it very well from within the archive of Israel. So that's their plan. Buy more time, create de facto in ground, build more illegal settlements in the very land which is supposed to be Palestinian state. Our plan, with the help of our allies and supporters, no, we would like to make life in Palestine. And to make life in Palestine, we need to create jobs. And to create jobs, we have to build a total civilized society with governance and everything. And this is exactly what we've been doing since 1993 and even before. Our people are genius, they are hard workers, they are not so lazy, they are not fond of donors' money, and we are able to survive at our own, given the situation that we don't have an occupation. Now we are here at a decision which is supposed to be for tourism. Let me give you what tourism could be doing to us if we have an ideal situation. If you can simply just go to Palestine without even a visa, just like what Indonesia now is trying to do. Making 169 countries, nationals can come whenever they like, and they can get visa on the border. Number one, we are not in control of our border. This is one obstacle, okay? But imagine that you are going to a free country where you have an international airport, one in Gaza and maybe one near Jericho, for example, and you can fly over there. Imagine 6 million Palestinians are waiting the time when they can visit their own brothers and sisters in Palestine. Because our population are 12 million. 6 million of them are in diaspora, practically speaking, nearby countries and beyond. This alone by itself would help our sector of tourism simply for our own nationals when they are able to come back home, to visit their own country, to visit their own families. Imagine the Arab and the Muslim and Christians who would like to visit Palestine just to fulfill the belief or religious obligation toward visiting, the very simple of their belief in God, whether they are Christians or Muslims or even Jews for that matter. So imagine that. One sector alone, if it is free in a different political circumstances, would be enough really to make us living much better without talking about industry or agriculture or otherwise. And we see examples to that. I mean, a country like Seychelles, for example, would have more tourists coming to them than their own population. In Tunisia, at some point in time, they used to have 12 million tourists per year, at a time when their population was less than that. So every tourist can make living for one national, actually, in that sense. So here we are talking about the tourism with a certain situation and certain environment. And to make it clear for you, last week I had been receiving a number of complaints of some of the tour operators who used to send to Palestine, during the last year. I have been told that out of 600 applicants, when they have given visa from Israel already through the process of travel agents, when they went to Palestine on the borders crossing between Jordan and West Bank, they have been refused entry, although they carry the very visas which allow them to go there. 70 means that of every group of 20, maybe 2 or 3 have been rejected. This has been done deliberately, not because there is anything wrong with their visas or application or they are potential terrorists. No. Not a single Indonesian for the last 10 years have even violated 1 day extra to stay in Palestine. They all go, they do their program, and they come all together. And each group has got a tour leader going with them all the time, supporting them all along. Not a single incident that has been imprisoned or anything. Indonesian tourists all the time, law-abiding people go for certain purposes, come back as quickly as they can. But still, the Israelis, they would like to abuse our tourists. To refuse some and to accept the rest is a policy which means that yes, you are welcome back to tourism to Israel, not to Palestine. If you apply through our embassy, through the Israeli embassy and so on, we will facilitate that. Means that they don't want our friends here who are working in the sector really to keep on alive. They would like rather an Israeli, tour operator or travel agent to do that. And they still are going to sell Palestine for the tourists. They are going to sell the church in Bethlehem. They are going still to sell the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is in and they are going to sell our heritage. This is the most valuable thing that somebody can capture from you. They can capture the land, they can capture the farms, but to capture our memory, to forge our history, to sell a narrative which is not real to history or to science. This is the most terrible thing that one can do. You remember here in Jakarta, when the Dutch, they used to call this Batavia, and change the name of the city, change the architecture of the city. Now, Indonesians are keeping even this architecture, just to remind people that the Dutch were here, and that's the architecture that they used to force on us. So it's becoming memory, actually. But this is what's happening right now. They are selling our falafel in New York, calling them this is an Israeli cuisine. I don't know any Russian who had known anything about falafel. There are more 500,000 now in Israel. Do they have any link with this heritage or this cuisine? Do they know anything about hummus, which is very tasty? By the way, you can come to my house, I can tell you how much it's tasty. Yeah, that's our narrative, that's our cuisine, that's our culture, this is our way of living. Look at this young, nice lady. Well, she's not young, really. Yeah. And look at her dress. You know how much time that you need to do this by needle?
6 months.
This should take 6 months at least, This is our heritage. We've been doing that for centuries. If you go, like what Mother used to teach my wife about, when she used to claim that she's very good cook. And one day she asked me, how many recipes you have, my young lady? She said 16, and she started naming them, makluba, blah, 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 and all this. And my mother said, oh my God, my little boy will suffer if she keeps cooking only this stuff. And she told him, the average Palestinian housewife, average, we're not saying excellent, we're not saying good, average, is that wife who can cook for her husband a recipe every day which she will not repeat before 1 year. That's 365, and still this is an average, it's not excellent. That's the richness of our cuisine. This did not come because we are tourists in our own country, because we are rooted in this country for thousands and thousands of years, well before any European with blue eyes and white hair or blonde hair even thought to come to our country. This is Palestine. So we want you to visit there. When you visit Palestine, whoever, whether you are a government official or anybody, you will be able to do 3 things to achieve 3 things at one time. Number 1, expressing your solidarity with those people who need it, which is us in this case. Make sure that the hotel that you are staying, it belongs to a Palestinian firm or national. Make sure that the bus which is driving you belongs to a Palestinian also. And remember to visit the Palestinian restaurants where you will enjoy very good food. And don't forget to pass and bring ole ole or souvenir from there, because we have very beautiful pieces of handicrafts and so on and so on. If you like, we can tell you a little bit about politics. We'll ask our travel agents to organize for you some what we call brainwashing. If your brain is not yet washed in our favor, we can storm your brain with our narrative of the history. Because the Israelis are doing also the same on the other side, let me tell you. They are telling most of the tourists that this is the narrative. So they make their own story and say that we don't belong there. We can do the same as well, yeah. And it's for you to be convinced whatever you like to be convinced. But that's not our objective of bringing you there. No, really, we want you to come and visit a place where God has blessed. You can reach to God much faster than any other place I can give you. No, I experienced that, you know. I went to Al-Aqsa planning for one with my mother. We ended up staying there 1 week. You don't know, you feel as if there is a magnet keeping you in the place. This place is special if you are a Muslim. But if you are not, that's not also very bad news, because you can still go to church in Jerusalem and also in Bethlehem. And I tell you, many Palestinian women, if they like really to become pregnant, they forget that they are Muslims or not. They will go and visit that church to ask the blessing of Mama Maria, and where she brought the baby, Jesus. It's very, very interesting place to be, especially in the times of, you know, of Christmas and even without Christmas. Am I a good marketing manager here? No. Okay, thank you very much. So this is what you do. But beside that, you are supporting us. You are sending a message to us. And you can tell about the Palestinian whether really they look like, you know, very arrogant and not very nice people like myself, for example, or they are much nicer there at home. You will see what is the average Palestinian look like. You will experience that. You will see them on the streets. You will see them everywhere. And they will be happy to receive you. Tourism for us is a support politically. It is an education for those who do not know. It's very nice entertaining to know culturally so much good place. And please, don't be better if the Israelis will stop you on the borders just to piss you off for 1 or 2 hours. And don't let down us, because some people, they would like to frustrate us. I know how much Indonesia and Japan would like to see an independent state as early as yesterday. But we have to continue really working to achieve that. It's not an easy task. Today, I would like really to thank each one of you who bothered himself or herself to come here. We have very nice, talented, brilliant people who are coming here to represent us at all levels, with the government, with the private sector, with the NGOs as well. They are all here for you, and they will tell you a lot more than I can. But I'm happy to have them here so that they can very well communicate with you. I would like to thank Jakarta very, very much, and Pullman as a hotel which is doing this very well. I would like to really thank all those who are making things happen, like this nice gentleman who is now frustrated with me talking too much, and he's about to really let you what's next. By the way, he's not Indonesian, and he is not Japanese. He's a mixture of both. So he knows Japanese, and he knows Japanese as well. It's confusing, but he's nice man, basically. I mean, he's a very good host. He's done a good work. Him and the team. Where is this nice lady? Susie, yeah. That lady, you know, she seems all the time even standing up. I would like to thank her sincerely, because she came all the way from Japan. She's been in Palestine 18 times, and she loves a recipe called makluba. You should try it, by the way. She can tell you a lot about it. Yeah? Really, I would like to thank you both, but most likely, more that I need to do is to ask, to thank the government of Indonesia, represented here by Kemlo officials, and Ibu Nining is just in front of you, the most smartest lady in Kemlo building. To my opinion, this is not really, you don't need to think that I'm the only one, but she's been committed with Palestine. We've been doing capacity building through NASP framework, we've been doing that through bilateral, and we are doing that through South-South cooperation. Now we are doing it through Siaka. thanks Economic and through you to the Honorable Minister, who is a hero. She went over there and pissed off Netanyahu. She told him, I'm not going, and if you think that this will stop us, don't think about it. So our foreign minister came to Amman, and now we have got Honorary Consulate, who happens to be a very nice woman also, and now representing Indonesia and Ramallah. So with those remarks, really, I should say that I should retire right now and go to my seat. But before that, I wish you all the best. A very nice seminar, fruitful, informative, and productive. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.